Hey, it's Mr. Keys, and today we're going to learn how to clap and count dotted eighth notes and rests. So we've seen the dot a couple times before already, and this is the third time that we're going to see it. This time we're going to see it on the eighth note. So just a quick recap. The dot adds 50% value, or half the value of whatever note it's dotting, and that's how you get the value for any dotted note. So an eighth note, remember, is half a beat. So how do we get 3/4 of a beat for a dotted eighth note? Well, if this is half a beat, what's half of an eighth note? Well, that would be a quarter of a beat, and the only note that's a quarter of a beat is a 16th note. So a half plus a quarter, if you remember your fractions, or just think about like a pie. If we have a whole pie and I have half, so here's half, plus a quarter, well, that gives me 3/4. Okay, so there we go. And it's the same thing with the dotted eighth rest, but I'll spare you the math again this time. And let's continue on and let's take a look at how we can count this. So just like before, we're breaking everything down into quarters. So that's why our beat has 4 pieces. Each beat is broken down to 4 pieces. And we use the analogy of the chocolate bar. So each chocolate bar, which is 1 beat, has 4 pieces, and we assign them appropriately. So this is 3/4 of a beat. So that means 3/4 of a chocolate bar. So 1, 2, 3 out of 4 pieces is going to go to this first note. So let me just circle that. So 3 out of 4 pieces goes to this guy right here. And the last quarter is going to go to this because that's a 16th note. A 16th note is a quarter of a beat. Okay, so here we go. And now we're on to beat 2. So this is half of a beat, so it gets half of a chocolate bar. And the other half is going to go to the one beside it. Let's go to beat 3. So for beat 3, the first note's a 16th note, so it only gets quarter of a beat. The next one is a 16th note as well, so it is going to get a quarter as well. And the last one is half of a beat, so it gets half of a chocolate bar. Let's go on to beat 4. This is a quarter rest. A quarter rest means an entire chocolate bar to itself. And there we go. Beat 4 entirely goes to that rest. So when we're counting this, let's go through slowly. We get 1 half goes to this first one. 2 half 3 half goes to this one. 4 half goes to this one. Let's continue. So if you're matching things up down here, this gets 1 half 2 half one whole beat. Now here's one that we haven't really seen before. This is a beat and a half, so it gets 1 chocolate bar plus half a chocolate bar. So since we're starting on 3 half would be an entire chocolate bar for this one. So 3 half plus it gets half of another chocolate bar, so that would be 4 And now when we go to this one, it's going to be half, and this last note in the bar is Let's go on to bar 3. So we get 1 half 2 half 3 half. This note is This is a dotted eighth note, so it gets 4 half because it's 3/4 of a beat, and this one gets it's a 16th note. 1 half for this one. 2 half and this is a half note, which gets 2 full beats. So 3 half 4 half and that is how we count and clap this. So let's go through and let's clap this together. So 1 half 2 half 3 half 4 half 1 half 2 half 3 half 4 half 1 half 2 half 3 half 4 half 1 half 2 half 3 half 4 half. So some of the tricky parts, if you noticed, one of the tricky parts was right here where we had the ties and these were both connected. So remember, you only clap for this one and then you hold for this. So when you clap this part, you're clapping holding for 2 half, which is the beat value of this guy. So he doesn't get a clap. And that's essentially how we count and clap dotted 8th note rhythms. And of course, you're going to have 16th notes in there, mixed all in there, and it makes it quite complicated. But this is where you get those really, really interesting rhythms, especially like in hip hop these days. There's a lot of really interesting rhythms, and it stems from all this. When you're making beats, you're probably not thinking about all this kind of stuff, but it's important to know. So that's pretty much how you clap this stuff. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. See you next time.